In today's video, I'll answer the question, how long does it take to recover from an eating disorder? Don't forget to subscribe and check out my free resources below. If you want to speak with me, there is a link in the description box. How long does it take? It's going to depend on a bunch of different factors. There is no one set answer. Everybody is going to have a different timeline, a different prognosis. And this is my first point, is everybody's recovery is different. Everybody's recovery is going to take a little longer. That's why nobody, including me, can say it's going to take this long. Everybody is different in this regard. Everybody has a different story, a different brain, different habits. You've been stuck in this disorder for a certain amount of time. Some people have had eating disorders for many years, some people just a few months. For others, only since quarantine. So it's really hard to say how long it's going to take. It also depends on motivation, how committed you are, what your reasons are, how bad it is. For you, it might take a few weeks or a few months. For other people, it might take a year up to 18 months. I don't think it should take more than 18 months to 2 years. I mean, after 2 years, that gives you plenty of time to make mistakes, create some new habits, and learn what works and what doesn't. Beyond 2 years, something is wrong. Now, having said that, the second point is you shouldn't compare. You should not compare your recovery to other people's recovery. Your recovery is unique to you. A lot of the behaviors and the thoughts you have, those are not unique. What is unique is your own background, your story, and your own situation. If you see other people who are recovering in a few weeks or just overnight, yeah, right. If you see other people recovering faster than you, it's okay. You need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on your own recovery. Other people need more time to recover. Other people need less time to recover. It's like surgery. How long is it going to take me to recover from surgery? I don't know. Everybody's surgery is different. All I can give is an average. Focus on your daily habits, do your best today, and then let the chips fall where they may. The next point is recovery is not linear. It's not a straight line. I've seen other people say it's more like this, like a squiggly line. I don't think it's that erratic. I think it's more like a stock market. Okay, it goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, but over time you see an increase. That's how your recovery is. You should expect outbreaks, paroxysms, relapses, whatever you want to call them. It is important to normalize challenges. It is important to realize that once you start that recovery process, it's not going to be linear. It's not going to be an overnight process. It's okay to make mistakes. You shouldn't expect to be a disordered eater one day and then the next day be perfect. Recovery doesn't start when you decide to be perfect. Recovery starts when you make a concerted effort to make changes. I used to mistake recovery for perfection. And what I mean is, I thought I was only recovered when I was perfect. So I would decide to recover and then I would be good for 2 or 3 days. And then I would have an episode and I think, oh, everything is lost. I need to restart again. That wasn't true. The recovery process was still going, but I had not normalized challenges. I didn't understand that I could have an episode even during the recovery process. It didn't invalidate or negate all of the progress that I had already made. My next tip for you is home field advantage. What this means is you make your environment and your routine as conducive to recovery as possible. That means you remove triggers from your home or trigger foods, whatever those are. You follow a bland, unexciting diet for a specific amount of time. I also recommend that you avoid restaurants and some social events. I'm not saying you should isolate yourself from family. If there is a family reunion or there's some family event, you should probably go. As I film this, it's November, so we're heading into that holiday season with Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's. It's just this 6 weeks of indulgence. I'm not saying you should skip all of that. How many Thanksgivings and Christmases are you gonna have? Not too many. So enjoy those as best as you can, but otherwise, if there is a social event that you can skip and it's not that important, then don't go. It's okay. In the early stage of recovery, you are fragile. Okay, you haven't developed those habits yet. It's really easy to throw you off. It's like when you break a leg. You don't put weight on that leg day one. You give it time to heal, and then you put a little bit of weight on it, and then you put all of your weight on it until you complete that recovery process. EDs, addictions, whatever, they're the same. You need to be careful in the beginning. And then once you develop those good habits, you develop trust, you develop self-awareness, then you don't have to be as careful anymore. Then you can have some of those favorite foods again. You can have some of your fear foods again. But what you can do is limit your exposure to triggers as best as you can. Keep trigger foods out of your home, avoid restaurants unless you need to go, avoid social events unless you need to go. Even if you did all of that, you couldn't eliminate all of the emotions that trigger this behavior. You can't avoid all situations that trigger this behavior. You're going to have to do the best that you can. But give yourself as many advantages as you can. Protect your territory, protect your home as best as you can. This video would not be possible without Essetino Artists. If you want to start your own YouTube channel and start producing content, then check out the Creative Business Academy. There is a link below. The next tip is to avoid episodes on multiple days. This will crush your momentum. One episode is fine. That's typical. It's what I expect. It's when it's multiple days in a row, that's deflating. That's when you don't expect to recover anymore. Once you have multiple episodes in a row, it's really easy to say, okay, I'm going to start my recovery a little later. This isn't working. Maybe I'll try it another time. It's really easy to delay the process one more time. But if you only have one episode and then you get back on your feet, you can keep going. Once you have momentum, keep it, because regaining that momentum is really hard. If you have episodes on multiple days, it's really easy to justify the behavior. You tell yourself, I'm only going to do this during this period of my life, and once this is over, then I'll stop. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. My next tip is start today, but understand that it's going to be a long-term process. And when I say long-term, I mean several weeks to several months. Remember, recovery doesn't mean you're perfect from now on. It just means you are making that concerted effort to make the changes that you need to make. What I tell my clients is do one thing better today than you did yesterday. To focus on small changes. How can you be a little better today? What's one small habit you can start today? What's one small habit you can break today? Create that momentum. That way you can demonstrate progress. You need to be in what I call change mode. Change mode is when you are in a state of mind where you want to change. You want to change so much and so fast you don't even recognize yourself in 3 months. That's a good state of mind because you're identifying all of these deficiencies, all these problems that you want to fix. You're in this state of self-improvement. Self-improvement can become its own addiction, but in general, it's a good thing. Start that process today, but understand that it's probably going to take you several months to get to where you want to go. And finally, don't count the days. I think this comes from the 12-step program. You need to count the days since your last episode. It's like 30 days, 32 days. The problem is it is another form of perfectionism. And when you have an episode, and inevitably you will, it's like you have to go back to day 0. That's really deflating. To be perfect for 36, 37, 38 days or more and then have an episode, because then you think all is lost. Oh no, I have to go back to 0 again. You need to discard this mentality. If you go 38 days without an episode, great. But if you have an episode on day 39, all is not lost. Just make sure day 40 is a really good day for you. Hope you found these tips useful. What are you going to do to start your recovery process? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you found this video educational and entertaining. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my resources below. If you liked this video, I'm sure you'll like one of the other videos that you see on the screen. Click one of them and I'll see you there.